Before we get started, I want to thank this video's sponsor, who, interestingly enough, is Coda, my moderator, and probably the person closest to me on the Discord who knows a lot of shit other people don't, so I need to keep him happy. That way, none of my secrets get out. All joking aside, though, Coda is one of the best people I've ever met. He's a really cool dude. He he's just an amazing guy. He really is. You'll see him a lot in my streams. We usually play StarCraft 2 together. You'll see him a lot in the community events and in the Deathwatch games I do. So join the Discord, say hi to him, or just say hi to him in the streams. Yeah, do something nice for him. He deserves it. Welcome back, everyone, to Lore with Ludus Infinium. And before we get into the lore, I want to apologize. Today is the 6th of August, and I have a pretty bad stomach bug. So this lore video, for the Emperor's Children, and the following one for the Iron Warriors, will probably suffer for it, and I do apologize, but I will do everything I can to make them as best I can. So, little heads up, I do apologize, but gotta muscle through it. So, with that being said, let's get into this lore video of the Emperor's Children. So, we need to talk about where they originally came from. The Emperor's Children stock was originally from nobility, honestly. A bunch of noble houses gave their children over to the Emperor for the Third Legion, so that's kind of how they became known as the Emperor's Children. And yeah, that's their origins. I mean, that's no real special things about it there. It's just that's how they got started. It's kind of cool, actually. And something else kind of cool, instead of being deployed as an individual command, they would be deployed, split up among Imperial Army units to lead them, because it was shown that they were actually very proficient at leading Imperial Army units, instead of just doing their own thing. An important early event was the Proximan Betrayal, where the Emperor was wounded during the ceremonies to celebrate compliance. The 16th cohort of Emperor's Children fought and died to the last alongside the Custodes contingent, so the Emperor could make his escape. After this, the Emperor granted the Third Legion 2 boons: the right to wear the Palatine Aquila, the Emperor's own standard, and this is my favorite, the right to end the revolt via exterminatus. Unfortunately, their early years were not all sunshine and rainbows. After that, a ship carrying a large portion of the Third Legion's gene seed mysteriously disappeared, already causing a bit of a strain. However, shortly after that, they were hit by an invisible foe they could not fight back against: the Blight. The Blight, just like it does in RimWorld, destroyed what little gene seed remained, and made it so the remaining Emperor's Children's numbers, say that 5 times fast, began to dwindle. The only thing that could come to save them was the reunification of their Primarch Fulgrim, the Phoenician, from the planet Chemos, where he had essentially turned around the entire planet from being struggling and bleak to, honestly, it was more productive than it's probably ever been. And after reuniting with them, he saw their plight and thought of them similar as he did the populace of Chemos. He saw their struggle. In fact, he could only meet with approximately 200 Astartes. And it was just, he devoted his time to helping them as much as he can and rebuilding their numbers. course. It was a slow process, but they finally had a chance. Now, as much as I like to keep these about their legions and less about their actual Primarchs, because I'm going to do individual videos of them as well, I do have to talk about a few events revolving around Fulgrim. Specifically, talking about how on the planet Laren, he came into possession of the Lair Blade. Yay! No. The blade that would essentially corrupt him and a chunk of his legion. As well as talk about the Diasporax. The Diasporax were a group of humans and Xenos, and the Iron Hands were having trouble getting rid of them, so they asked Fulgrim and the Emperor's Children to help, because of the friendship between Fulgrim and Ferrus Manus. Well, this is really telling, especially if you look at the 6th book in the Horus Heresy series called Fulgrim. It really shows how he felt like everything was a slight to him. And that really does start to, it starts to really show then. Another important moment involving Fulgrim is right before the Horus Heresy. He comes into contact with Farseer Eldrad Uthron. And it's typical Eldar diplomacy. We want to talk. Oh wait, you're evil Monkeg. I'm gonna kill you. But to be fair, this time he actually got it right. He was trying to convince Fulgrim, hey, there's something going on with Horus, it's not too late to stop him, and then he realized that Fulgrim himself was corrupt through the Lair Blade, and then immediately tried to kill him. So, Eldar, what you gonna do? During the course of the Horus Heresy, there was what's the word for it? A performance. It wasn't like a full-blown orchestra. I believe it was just 5-6 people playing. And this caused what would be the first Noise Marines, because the composer, Remembrancer, was also corrupted by chaos, and created this so it would create a tear between reality and the warp while they were playing. And some of the Astartes, not wanting the music to stop, of course, because it's Slaanesh, continued playing and became the first Noise Marines that the loyalists at Istvan 5 got to experience. so yeah. And oddly enough, that's about the nicest thing, and I'm trying to word this very carefully because it's Slaanesh, that I can say moving forward about them, because it just gets really tentacly from there. I mean, I hate saying it, but a lot of this is stuff that I have to cover in a Fulgrim video, but, I mean, essentially is the Emperor's Children start getting corrupted, at Istvan 5 get more corrupted, and they come to a planet where, again, this is a Fulgrim thing, but Fulgrim tricks Perturabo and ascends to demonhood. And after the Siege of Terra, I mean, this is kind of where I can start talking about them, honestly. After the Siege of Terra, they escape, like, raid worlds on their way to get slaves, kill all the slaves, raid the other traitor legions to get more slaves, because they abuse and kill all the slaves. And eventually Fabius Bile, in the ultimate piss-off move, steals Horus's body from what was now going to be known as the Black Legion, and created a clone that Abaddon, in a moment of Abaddonness, actually a moment of really cool Abaddonness, kills. He kills the clone of Horus Lupercal. So, to be fair, Abaddon does at least one thing cool post-heresy. Short of that, the only thing I think I can really talk about, and this is honestly not even really a big Emperor's Children thing, it's just something that I like about them, is there was a planet, and I don't know what the name of it is off the top of my head, and I'm looking for it, I promise, is that they were fighting with the World Eaters, and Karn the Betrayer was leading the World Eaters, and Karn essentially gets really angry, because World Eater, about how everyone's being a coward at night because it gets so cold to the point it can kill a Stardaze. Picks up a flamer, starts killing World Eaters and Emperor's Children very indiscriminately. So, short of that, I mean, they are the Traitor Legion that fell to Slaanesh. They got tentacles, they got sonic weapons. That's who they are now. They specialize, they're kind of like the Dark Eldar of the humans. Hilariously enough, honestly. But, that will conclude my basics of the Emperor's Children. I appreciate everyone who made it this far. If you want to support the channel, subscribe, leave a like. There's always a link to a Patreon and a Streamlabs, and I am seriously trying to work on getting a few more things up. As soon as I do, I will announce them. But with all that being said, the most important thing of all is I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!